rocketing diarrhea or rocket fuel coming out of your booty hole.
Ah, jeez.
Tell you one thing, I do not trust my butthole.
Hey everyone, it's Sky from my Brightest Athlete here, and if you remember a little while ago on my channel, I talked about how Joe Rogan was actually doing the carnivore diet for the entire month of January. Now look, I don't have a personal problem with anybody's particular diet choices, but Joe Rogan being in such an influential spot with millions and millions of followers, you'd think he should be really transparent about certain health effects and or unknown health effects of a certain diet. And unfortunately, this doesn't seem to be the case. In fact, I think it might even be by design. That's what this video is about. I don't like spreading rumors, but follow me here. I have a little theory, and I think you might agree with me. I very well could be wrong on this, and if anybody proves me wrong, so be it, no big deal. But I do have reason to believe that what I'm saying is true. But let me back up a second. Let me give you guys some background information. So at the beginning of the month that Joe was doing this crazy carnivore diet, he said that he was going to get a blood test beforehand and a blood test after to see the differences.
So I did some blood work today, and I'll make that blood work public, but then I'm going to do it again at the end of the month, and I'll compare.
And to my knowledge, we still know nothing about these blood results. Now, it could just be something that Joe wants to keep private, sure, but the fact is, Joe pretty much makes everything public about his health and his diet and whatever he thinks about everything else. Why would this be an exception? So here's my idea on this. I can't believe I'm actually making a video on this. I feel like some sort of conspiracy theorist or something. My question is Joe Rogan intentionally hiding his blood results from the public?
Say what?
You might ask, well, why would he even want to do that? He doesn't have any sort of personal vested interest or anything. Except that's where you'd be wrong. Some of you might already know that Joe is sponsored by a company called ButcherBox, which is basically just a meat-selling company. Go figure, right? And you know, if this is the case, I can only imagine the kind of conversation that went on between the company and Joe. Okay, sorry I'm late, guys. I gotta be honest with you, I was smoking a lot of DMT at home, and I was tripping out way too hard to even consider driving. Well, you know what? Never mind. Joe, we've recently been seeing you've been talking a lot about, well, plants on your podcast. Oh, yeah, talking about plants? Yeah, I smoke them all the time, like I just said. Oh my gosh, did we really just sponsor this guy because he has a lot of okay, just checking. We want you to eat nothing but meat for an entire month. Hey, so guys, my before and after blood results, not looking so good. Oh, Joe, you've already done more than enough for our sales. But shouldn't we let people know if something like this is unhealthy or if it's gonna affect their blood results or— I don't recall that being in the contract, Joe. You're supposed to make us look good, remember? Hey, okay. Jeez, you guys need to calm down. Smoke a blunt or something, you know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, I can't prove that this is the case, and if you guys know me on this channel, I'm not the one to go and spread rumors and just hypothesize a whole bunch on my channel. But, even that said, I really do think that this is quite a possible scenario. If there's one thing I've learned in my adult life, it's this: money and power corrupt. Absolutely. And I do think it's very probable that after eating an entire month on only meat, that Joe's blood results didn't look too great. And ButcherBox would kind of want to cover that up and say, hey, you know, just don't release it. Nobody will notice, right? Can't make their product look bad after all, right? Well, in all honesty, this is only part of the reason I'm making this video. I also want to talk about Joe's claims and experiences while on a whole month of the carnivore diet, because, woo, are there some interesting things to talk about. First up here is Joe's claims about the carnivore diet possibly clearing up his vitiligo.
I have vitiligo, which is an autoimmune disease. It causes you to have these patches where you don't have pigment.
Oh, really?
And this month I had the best results that I've ever had. It comes and goes depending upon how well I'm taking care of myself, treatments and stuff like that. But this month, it's I've had all these spots fill in at like a pretty rapid rate.
And you know what? I totally believe him. I'll even take his word for it. But there's a caveat here. Let me tell you something I think you don't know. While this channel is called Arthritis to Athlete, reflecting my experiences reversing my crippling spinal arthritis called ankylosing spondylitis with a whole foods plant-based diet as well as other healthy lifestyle changes. Even though that's the name of my channel, most of you guys know, in fact I know all of you guys don't know because I've never said this on my channel, I have vitiligo too!
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It actually developed around the same time I was really getting in the trenches and had to drop out of school because of my crippling spinal arthritis. In fact, hold on, let me show you this. You might have to, yeah, you can totally see that on camera. It's pretty faint, but they're still there. Those little white spots, that's vitiligo. And you'd probably be interested to hear that on a whole foods plant-based diet, which is like the opposite of the carnivore diet, my vitiligo improved drastically. In fact, I even have some spots on my neck that were right about here that have totally vanished. I can't see them at all. So I wanted to point this out for one very important reason. And that is this. The reason that this probably happened to Joe on the carnivore diet and to me on a whole foods plant-based diet that are totally polar opposites is because they are both forms of elimination diet. In both cases, you're going to be eliminating most of the foods that are highly problematic, like dairy products, wheat or gluten allergies, things like that. And Joe even admits this openly on his podcast. He says, yeah, it's just a form of elimination diet.
This is what it is. It's an elimination diet.
And that's one of the reasons so many people get such great benefits on the carnivore diet. However, does that mean that you should go carnivore? Well, probably not. The likely problem is that a lot of people have lots of problems, intolerances, and gut disbalances, dysbiosis, and all this nasty stuff that they're just not truly getting to the root of. And doing any type of elimination diet is usually going to help those things. And the very, very common weight loss that occurs on these elimination diets is only going to make these effects even more prominent. With that information in mind, why wouldn't we choose the most evidence-based diet? Especially when it comes to eliminating certain foods to help certain health problems. A whole foods plant-based diet has been extensively studied to show many disease reversing and preventing benefits. This is including our leading killers, heart disease, diabetes, certain types of cancers. They can be reversed on a whole foods plant-based diet, and this is not just speculation, that has been scientifically validated. That's a big deal! While on the other hand, the carnivore diet has almost zero evidence backing it up. There's a lot of anecdotes, sure. There's maybe one, maybe two studies out there that are really, really short term, and there's a lot of speculation by some really prominent YouTubers who I'm not gonna name. We're not gonna go into that. And while personal stories like that, they're nice and they get people's attention, they're not the most scientifically validated type of thing. And guess what? I could probably find anecdotally a bunch of people that think, let's say, drinking pee, your own pee, is a good thing.
Magic juice right here.
Oh, I need some of that. What is it, vodka?
But I think we can all agree that just because there's a bunch of people that say they feel really good drinking their own pee, that doesn't mean we should go do that. So look, do I have a personal problem with anybody that chooses to do the carnivore diet? No, it's your body, your choice. What I do have a problem with is whenever people take things like quotes from studies out of context and then try to market this carnivore thing as if it's like some hugely evidence-based thing and all the science is pointing to this, you just can't see it, and it's the best diet for you, it's the best diet for me, it's the best diet for everybody! Whoa, I think I spit in my mic when I did that. That's gross. Anyway, I just have this kind of problem whenever people do things like that, and unfortunately, that's kind of what they do. All these big carnivore YouTubers, they take anecdotes and they take quotes from studies out of context, and all together, it looks really convincing. And like I said, it even works for people. I'm not saying the people in the carnivore diet are lying, it's just that, guys, there are better ways to get the same result. Ways that are better for you in the long term, better for the overall health of the world, and better for animals. It's like a perfect trifecta. However, I know any carnivore watching this is going to be very quick to point out all my fallacies and misconceptions about how everything I know is wrong and everything they know is right, or whatever, I don't know. Oh gosh. Here's the summary of what I'm trying to say. Do the carnivore diet if you want to, fine. But don't tell yourself and other people that it's evidence-based and that it's gonna be the best for everyone. That's just irresponsible. There's a few other things that Joe talks about on his month of carnivore diet experiences, including, but not limited to, and I quote, rocketing diarrhea.
Rocketing diarrhea.
Sorry, Joe, I didn't get that. Can you say that again?
Rocketing diarrhea.
Sorry, one more time?
Rocketing diarrhea.
Oh, yeah, how could I forget? Oh. I'm not gonna make any assumptions about whether this is a good or a bad thing. I'm just gonna leave that up to you. Rocketing diarrhea. Yeah, sounds wonderful, right? And you know, it seems like Joe's big reasoning for sticking with this is like Jordan Peterson or something and how he looks up to him.
Jordan Peterson is the main reason I want to try it, because I really respect his thought process.
And Joe says these quotes that are just ridiculous. He's like, and people say, oh, eat your vegetables, you're like a child. And he's like, well, I just don't know if that's true, if vegetables are healthy or not.
Vegetables are good for you, right? That's what everybody immediately thinks. I don't know if that's true, though. I don't know if that's true.
I don't think Joe is actually, like, saying, I don't think vegetables are healthy. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's saying that. But the fact that he even says that on his podcast, where a lot of people are watching him, that's kind of reason for concern. So look, I'm not making this video to bash Joe and say he's a bad person or he's stupid. Honestly, if he was any random Joe that I pulled off the street, that's funny, I didn't even think about that. Random Joe. If he was just some random person that didn't have a bunch of followers, I just wouldn't care about it all that much. The problem comes is that he's marketing this and he's talking about it in at least a positive enough way to like get it into people's minds that like, oh yeah, he's looking good, he's doing well, I should try that myself. So that's really the problem that I have with this. It's that Joe has this huge platform with tons of eyes on him, and he could very well be influencing a ton of people to get on board with this. And if not, at least eat more meat, and they'll probably feel really good about it because, oh, hey, Joe Rogan's doing the carnivore diet. Joe Rogan looks really good. He's healthy, right? So I do feel like it's kind of necessary to just point out some of the things that, I don't know, are kind of ridiculous. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. Do you really think Joe is in coordination with ButcherBox and he's hiding his blood results? What do you think about all the claims he made while he was on the carnivore diet? I'd love to hear all of your guys' opinion. Post them down in the comments. I'll read them all. Anyway, I think that about wraps things up here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if you got any value out of this video, please consider adding value back to my channel by liking, commenting, and hitting that subscribe button down below, as well as the bell icon next to it. That helps my channel out a bunch. Alright, and with that, I will see you guys very, very soon. And God bless y'all.